Going on, everyone? It's your boy Ben and JB, and today we're joined by our special guest, White Sox Louie, which means that we are going to be doing our White Sox season projection. And I've been waiting for this episode because I think the White Sox are a very interesting team this year. And obviously, without a doubt, you know how we do it. We first start off talking about the lineup, and that's what we're going to start off today. JB, I'll throw it to you first, then Louie. How do you feel about this White Sox lineup in 2026?
It's definitely a revamped lineup. I mean, they have I believe it's a top 10 farm system now, and they had obviously a rebuilding year. Last year was a tough one. They only won 60 games, but there's a lot of upside in this lineup for the future, and they really stacked that catcher too. They got Edgar Cuero, Kyle Teal, obviously, so you could obviously have Cuero at DHing as you see here on the screen. You could maybe flip-flop them a couple, throughout the months in the season. Miguel Vargas in the infield. Austin Hayes is a new signing, and obviously Colson Montgomery had a breakout season last year with 21 home runs in I believe 70 games, and obviously Murakami starting there as well. This team to me is going to score a decent amount of runs. You got Andrew Benintendi at the bottom of this lineup. To me they may score a lot of runs. I think there's going to be a lot of upside with this lineup, a lot of positivity. I think it's going to still obviously be a work in progress, but there's definitely a lot to be happy about with this lineup, and I'm sure we'll get Louie's take, but he's got to be a lot happier with the way this team looks and with the way their farm system looks as well.
Yeah, what you got, Louie? What you think about this lineup?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, totally revamped the lineup from last year, the last couple of years, to be honest with you, because we finally have a decent cleanup hitter now. Murakami, beforehand, we used to have fucking Brooks Baldwin and Benintendi being the cleanup, so I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? But I mean, that's the typical White Sox motto. This year, they did prove me wrong, signing some actual key veteran bats like Austin Hayes, which could be a really good piece to move at the deadline come July. But I mean, overall, this lineup is going to score a lot of runs, like JV said. Hopefully, Colson Montgomery bounces back and has another good year. Last year, rookie year, he broke out 21 home runs in like 60 games or something like that. I do think there's going to be a regress just because I think for most people in the sophomore year, they regress just a little bit. But overall, this lineup is way, way better from the last 3 years for White Sox baseball. So I'll take that for what it is.
Yeah, so my personal thoughts and opinion on it, I think when you look at hitters, specifically like Austin Hayes, a veteran presence, Benintendi, who at this point, I think they're glad to get any type of positive production by him. Brooks Baldwin, I think that low-key, he could get his spot taken by Luis Angel Acuna. I think when it comes down to it, I think that could be a thing that does happen. So I would actually be interested to see how that plays out in opening day. But Cuero being your DH and Teal being your catcher, that just shows you like how much depth they do have at the catcher position, like JB was saying, because they also do have Corey Lee, who's a good defensive catcher. Obviously, offensively hasn't really been all that. But I think, obviously, when you look at this lineup, there's two names immediately you start glowing about, and that's Colson Montgomery and Murakami. Because even though Montgomery does come with the strikeout issues as well, I mean, the fact that he hit 21 home runs in 70 games-ish, that's incredible. I think this guy's a talented player. He's great defensively. I think he's only going to get better defensively as well as he gets older. Murakami, obviously, defensively, there's a reason he's playing first, but you know what you could get with him in the lineup, at least probably 30 home runs. I think that's the best case scenario. And the fact that the White Sox got this guy for what they did contract-wise, I think that was a phenomenal pickup right there. So very excited to watch the White Sox this year because I think I said it before, they're going to be one of the fun teams in baseball. Maybe not one of those wild card challenges, or who knows? We'll get into the rotation and bullpen right now, but very fun team to watch. And best transition right here to talk about the starting rotation and the bullpen right here. JB, I'll throw it to you. Obviously, we got the rotation right here led by Shane Smith. Then we have Sean Burke, Davis Martin, Anthony Kay, and Eric Fetty in this starting rotation. I expect there might be some tweaks in this rotation as the year keeps going. Maybe some prospects are called up, some returns of injury players like Drew Thorpe. Just my opinion, but what do you think about this rotation?
It's not the strongest, I'll say that. I mean, it's going to have its ups and downs, I feel. They may have good weeks, and you're going to have some bad weeks. I do feel like they may put a little pressure on this bullpen, calling on the bullpen a little much. But I still think that there's some work to do. Shane Smith's not horrible. I think he's a real consistent pitcher. I think he gets on the bump every fifth day. He's going to give you consistent outings. But, everybody else in this lineup, they're definitely question marks. I mean, Eric Fetty is up and down, and the middle of this rotation is going to have some work to do. So, if they could give, this bullpen, some rest and maybe get some good quality innings, then you'll see some real positive outlooks with this rotation. That'll be great if they could really give some length. But I think that's where they're going to struggle is the length and the inexperience as well. But hopefully, Shane Smith can bounce back and be a good number one. And obviously Eric Fetty, who's been in the top of a lot of rotations in the league since his debut a couple, years back. Now at the bottom of rotation in Chicago, at least it gives them a little depth. But I still think there's a couple of question marks in this rotation moving forward for 26.
Yeah, Louis, what do you think about the rotation?
I think this rotation is pretty dog shit, but nonetheless, we still have guys coming up in the prospect like Noah Schultz, Hagen Smith, who eventually, I mean, if everything pans out, hopefully they get called up in the middle of the summer. But from top to bottom, Shea Smith, he did have an all-star year last year, but then again, it's because the White Sox needed an all-star. They said, fuck it, we'll pick you. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I do like Shane Smith as the number one guy. Obviously, I mean, he's the best pitcher out of this rotation. The one person that does concern me a lot is Sean Burke. Sean Burke at the end of the year was getting hit around like a fucking piñata. He had like a 6 ERA the last 2 months of 2025. So that goes without saying. This rotation is pretty bad, but the bullpen is really, really good. I mean, you got Sir Anthony Dominguez, the closer this year. Grant Taylor is another guy that's really good, has some high velo stuff. Mike Vassell, Jordan Hicks. I know Jordan Hicks was horrible in Boston, but I mean, maybe the White Sox can tweak him out, fix him. But other than that, the bullpen's decent. I mean, it's way better from the previous years, like I said in the lineup, but the rotation is still questionable.
Yeah, I think, JB, I'll throw your thoughts on the bullpen real quick, but I think Louis hit it right on the dot. I think when you look at this bullpen right here, it's actually a very well-formed bullpen. But what do you think about it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I like their bridge to Dominguez. I like Grant Taylor. I think, he had a high ERA last year. It was a 4.91 in roughly 36 innings. But you know what? I think with another year under his belt, a full season under his belt, I think he's going to be a nice addition in that 7th inning. And then you got Jordan Leisure and then rolling into Sir Anthony Dominguez. I do like Sean Newcomb and Brandon Eisert as their left-handed options. I think that's going to be a nice touch, adding some depth. And like Louis said, Jordan Hicks in that middle relief spot, I think that could get him right, to be honest with you. And for whatever reason, you suffer some injuries or guys just aren't performing well in the rotation, you could throw him in as an opener or as a guy that can maybe eat 4 or 5 innings, a couple of times where you have to throw him into the starting role. So I do like their bullpen. There's a lot of upside with this bullpen, and I think, like I said, if the starters can get through 5 and keep the White Sox in the game, you could go to your bullpen in the 6th inning and feel like, all right, now the best part of our staff is going to come in and try to fight through the later innings. So I do like this bullpen in 2026 for the White Sox, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and when you look at, just to finish off, a quick thought about this rotation, like Louis said, you're probably going to get prospects like Hagen Smith at some point getting called up. Noah Schultz, I think for sure, is going to get called up first. So if you look at the starting rotation, it's going to be better because of the talent that they're going to add with these prospects, in my opinion. The bullpen, like you guys said, I think you guys hit it right on the dot. There's some very exciting names. I'm a big fan of Grant Taylor. Actually was a big fan of him when he was with LSU, coming through the ranks, obviously, as well. I always figured he would be pretty good as a setup guy more than a closer. But maybe he gets that opportunity at some point if they do maybe not start off the best. Deal Dominguez. I did like the pickup of Sir Anthony Dominguez, though, because him, Sean Newcomb add veteran presence to the bullpen, and I think that's something that they needed big time. Mike Vassell, not a bad piece whatsoever. The big question mark in the bullpen is going to, and if you get positive production from Jordan Hicks, I think you're going to be perfectly fine in the bullpen. I think, if anything, it's going to be added plus. And like I mentioned, Brandon Eisert as well, very good. I really like this bullpen. I really do. I think it's one of the most underrated bullpens in the league, in my opinion. But just to kind of wrap it up right here, we're going to continue going, and we're going to finish off with the White Sox over-under win total. As you guys know, FanDuel, please sponsor us. We need you at this point. But the Chicago White Sox over-under win total is 67.5 wins. Over-under, JB, I'll throw it to you first, and then I'll go, and then Louis at the end. So go ahead, JB.
I'm gonna go slightly under. I'm gonna say they get 67. If they were at 66.5, I would have went with the 67 and have them go over. But I do think they go, just a tad under. And I think it's a 7-win upgrade from last year. I don't think they're gonna quite touch 70 yet. I think asking for 10 more wins out of this team would just be a little bit too much right now. Obviously this being the first year of a revamped lineup and a revamped bullpen, and let's see what that starting rotation does for 2026, barring no setbacks. But I do think they finish slightly under, and I'll say that they finish with 67 wins in 2026.
Perfect. Just doing everything correctly right now. I'm doing the math, actually, because I want to make sure that I hit this number right on the dot, because I like this White Sox team. I think this White Sox team could be a very fun team. And I do see that they're going to improve, and they have been improving year in and year out since they commenced this rebuild. So I'm going to go over right here for this White Sox team. I'm going to go over. I'm going to get them with 70 wins on the dot. I think I could see them having major success when they do call up these prospects and basically succeed towards the end of the year, especially if, let's say, they're not really sellers at the trade deadline, but if they need to move like Austin Hayes or Dominguez, they'll do it. But let's say they call up some of these pitchers, I think that's when they could start winning games. And obviously, we have some key players in that lineup, I think will lead them to some good victories this year. So I'm going to go with 70 wins for the White Sox this year. Louis, what do you got? Over, under?
I have, surprisingly, the over. I have them at 69 wins. I really think this team, I mean, obviously, there's still a bunch of holes in this lineup, a bunch of holes in the bullpen, the rotation, things like that. But like you said, Ben, the prospects that are being called up eventually this year, hopefully, I really think towards the end of the season, they're gonna like they did last year, catch fire. I think they led the league in home runs for a little bit, for quite a while after the All-Star break. So I'm just gonna ride the hot hand, and I think the White Sox are gonna go over with 69 wins. Obviously, it's still gonna be a bad team, but it's gonna be a bad, fun team. That makes sense.
That's the best way to put it right there. And so that's it. Me and Louis have the over. JB does have the under. Just to kind of wrap up about the White Sox this year. Obviously, me and Louis are going to be going to some of the games this year. And I really do hope this team starts transforming and taking these positive steps in the right direction, which I think they are. I think this rebuild has actually gone pretty decent for them. And one thing I did want to mention before we end the video, they have the #1 overall pick this upcoming year in the draft. And there are some talented players in mind at the shortstop position. Rauch Chalosky and Justin LeBron, two undoubtable, I mean, #1 and #2 in the draft. There's no other way to put it. How do you feel about the #1 overall pick coming to you guys, Louis?
I really think it's a blessing in disguise because after everything Jaron Reinsdorfer's put us through with the Bulls and the White Sox, I mean, shit, this #1 pick is a godsend. So hopefully they don't fuck it up and take some high schooler like they usually do. They go the wrong route. They pick the wrong pick like they do every fucking year. But, I mean, there's no way we can fuck this up. Rod Chalowski 1.1 and then just LeBron 1.2. I mean, you can't go wrong with either of them. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, JB, any final thoughts about the White Sox this upcoming year? Are you going to be watching them a lot in MLB TV or what?
Yeah, listen, listen. I'm a baseball fan. Obviously, everybody knows I'm a Yankee fan, but I love baseball. I'll watch anything, whatever's on. The Yankees could be off for a week, and I'll find somebody to watch. So, obviously, with the type of talent that this White Sox team has built and has been building, and what's to come in the future, it's definitely going to be fun to see that these guys are starting to gel, and you see them come up, and now they got some real talent, and they basically let some people go too. Obviously, they lost Luis Robert, and that was a big risk. And oh my God, what are they going to do? It looks like a complete rebuild, but yeah, it is a complete rebuild, and they're doing it the right way. They're getting rid of some dead talent, if you will, if you want to call it that, and things that didn't work out for them, and they started from scratch. And sometimes that's what you got to do. So this is like it's nice to see that they're taking this route because it just shows you that they're trying to win and draft the right way. And this team is stacked with young talent. And now, like you said, they got the #1 pick, so that only is going to pad everything that they're doing. So, I'm really excited actually for this team. They're going to be a real contender in the AL Central. I think in the next couple of years, they're going to be fighting, for a division. I won't even put it by them.
I agree. I think step in the right direction, obviously, is all the ways that we're thinking right here for the Chicago White Sox in 2026. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section, though. Do you guys think that the White Sox are going to be a fun but bad team this year? Or do you think that they're going to be maybe fighting for a wild card spot, surprising us? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Also, your over-unders as well. We love to hear that. But yes, make sure you guys are subscribing here to JBM Sports Media. Follow us on TikTok and IG at JBM Sports Media. Follow Louie, White Sox Louie, on TikTok and IG at White Sox Louie. Some funny-ass content right there you're going to get on a daily basis. So check that out. And as always, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.